Clovis man says he might have caught the mythical chupacabra creature terrorizing his chickens.
Every once in a while, someone swears they've seen the mythical chupacabra.
This is about my fourth one that I've sighted. This is the second one we've gotten on camera.
It has red eyes, big old fangs hanging down there, claws coming out through 3 inches long, you know, just sharp as they could be.
This is a sight that has spooked many people in different parts of the East County. Near El Cajon, some neighbors are calling him Chupacabra after the legendary creature.
There's always something out there that allegedly either cause harm or threaten to cause harm to people or their livestock.
Do you believe in the Chupacabra?
Absolutely.
The darkness of the woods hides a lot more than just wild animals that many might believe to be the case, until the trail camera proves otherwise. Here are some of the unexplainable trail camera footage that were captured deep within the woods. This huge ape-like animal isn't your typical gorilla or chimp, rather is an elusive legend. Scott Violet is a determined Bigfoot believer and hunter who has been on a quest for over 20 years, seeking tangible evidence of Bigfoot's existence.
I spent all my childhood walking through the woods looking for Bigfoot prints.
He ventured into eastern Oregon's Blue Mountains, along with camera equipment, to howl into the night, hoping to capture a Bigfoot after tracking its activity for a while. The Bigfoot hunter was able to capture the mysterious giant twice on his camera, as it appeared with its heavy strides and arm swings defying primate norms. Aside from the footage, he also managed to get imprinted footsteps of the Bigfoot onto the ground, providing him undeniable proof of existence.
My theory is that you don't find Bigfoot, he finds you. The woods will come alive for you. You'll start hearing stuff you didn't hear before.
Mythical creature. Houston experienced a jolt when rumors of a chupacabra sighting circulated, sparked by a man's adamant claim of encountering the mythical creature. Josh, self-proclaimed chupacabra hunter, asserted having spotted 4 in his lifetime, capturing 2 on camera. However, the credibility of his assertion wavered due to a blurry image, attributed to a hurried snapshot while the creature was in motion. Speculation arose, suggesting the creature might be a misunderstood coyote, not the legendary entity.
They're a little blurry because we were still trying to move and that thing was running down the fence line and we wanted to get it before it went, and then all of a sudden, right off the league line, it went off into the brush.
Adding to the skepticism, an animal expert dismissed chupacabras as purely mythical, stating that those blood-sucking beasts are absent in reality.
No, we don't have those here. They're mythical, really. I mean, there's a lot of people report that, but no, that's a coyote.
The community grappled with the enigma, torn between folklore and logical explanations, as the mystery of the chupacabra persisted. Bushy body. This group had lost their way inside the forest, along with the car that broke down while being on the bumpy road. As they were trying to up and run their vehicle, the headlights caught the sight of a hairy figure that made a shallow appearance from one side of the forest until it disappeared into the other. Many coined the giant figure to be a possible Sasquatch, while others called it, rather, a shadowy figure. Was it a ghost of a Sasquatch, or perhaps just a hoax? We would like to know your thoughts. Unknown canine breed. While on the drive in Nashville around Radnor Lake, this guy came across this strange wild animal that was chewing on wooden chips. Now you know that's not the fangs in the picture. The recorder of the footage who shared it believes that this could be a creature from myth, the ever-famous and controversial chupacabra. But when he came back to the same spot after a round, the animal had gone. When the video surfaced on the internet, people came out with different beliefs. Most of them said it was no blood-sucking beast. Snowy wilderness. In the vast snowy forest, this giant Yeti-like entity made an appearance in front of a planted trail camera that defied beliefs among the owners of the camera. In the zoomed-in video, the bipedal creature could be seen taking heavy steps up the hill. With a hairy, dark figure, its appearance was enough to make them believe that it was indeed the mythical snow beast called the Yeti. This elusive being ignited curiosity among the masses as fear settled in. Scary sewer. Looks like there are things far scarier in a sewer, aside from getting drenched in all that resides there. A remotely operated vehicle of the U.S. Water Utilities Department was recording the inside of a sewer pipe to check the condition inside, and they were left shaken up when a strange hand randomly appeared when the drone got too close to something that looked like a body. As the camera was filming the inside of the pipe, a creature emerged from the shallow water, followed by a hand that came up as if to stop the camera. Some thought it was just a rat, but see for yourself. Rats don't look like that. So, what do you think it was? Haunted church. What do you think you would do if you came across an abandoned church? Probably not go into it, but curiosity got the better of this guy who made the terrible mistake of deciding to explore. When he entered the church, he encountered probably the most horrific moment of his life. Inside, there was a woman dressed in white, sitting alone on one of the benches. The woman looked eerily pale, almost the same color of her dress. As soon as the camera panned toward her, she turned her face, and the cameraman ran for his life. Who was she, and what was she doing in there? The questions remained unanswered, as the guy didn't dare to step foot inside that church again. Georgian Beast. While looking for a clean catch, this hunter bumped into a huge ape-like animal that was strolling through the forest. A hunter in Blue Ridge, Georgia, after catching a trail of a potential catch, was interrupted by the loud growl coming from the dense forest. Upon inspecting where the voice came from, he caught the sight of an elusive giant, a big, hairy beast stomping around the woods, aggressively pushing the trees and bushes aside. The man was scared, but he still filmed the mythical beast, a supposed Sasquatch. He followed the creature from a safe distance so as not to catch its eye, but the video ended abruptly, and we didn't find out what happened next. Zombie canine. This clip, which was captured in July 2023, shows what looks to be a fast-decaying wild canine roaming in the streets and can be seen missing an upper jaw and having a sparse coat of hair. It was a very pitiful sight. With the animal still not identified even now, it could have been anything from a rabid dog to an extremely diseased or distressed coyote. A wildlife and an animal expert believe that this canine was suffering from mange, a condition which results in hair loss. Chasing beast. This could have been anything from a bear to a recurring werewolf. But judging by the behavior of this beast within the footage, it tells something different. A trail camera footage taken by an unknown source shows a massive, hairy beast that materialized before it started to chase. Judging from how it took time to weigh the pros and cons before starting to chase, displays its level of intelligence and its damage-dealing potential. With the video ending abruptly and the source not known, no one knows what happened next or how things ended up. Unusual strolling companion. A driver was taking a short path through a forest when he was joined by an unusual companion. The driver reported that once his car broke down, he decided to cover the rest of the destination on foot, which is when he noticed that he had gotten company, and that too of such a terrifying creature. From the looks of it, it could have been anything from a witch to a grim reaper standing still among the trees, as it was not even trying to hide itself. The driver initially believed in the benefit of the doubt until he sensed it following him closely. Possessed doll. We have all seen dolls, and sometimes their subtle movements have been caught on camera, labeled as a glitch in the Matrix. But what this guy discovered and recorded was far more than just a glitch. A man was in the forest collecting logs of wood when he came across something very strange. During his search, he found this abandoned doll that looked like it was actually a girl. With creepy lines covering its face, the doll was either vandalized or it just looked that way. It moved on its own, tilting its head side to side. Why did someone throw the doll in the woods, and how was it able to move? That's something that remained a mystery. Cryptid howling. These kids were playing in their backyard when they saw a weird creature in white that appeared out of the blue and was crouching down like an animal. As the two curious kids walked towards the cryptid to investigate, it started screaming at them with horrific shrieks.
Crap, it just screamed.
And before the guys could move any further, it unexpectedly started charging towards them, giving another shock. Frog-behaving humanoids. With people believing all sorts of things today, seeing something like this does not really surprise anyone. A trail cam footage dating October 2021 picked up a series of humans, or very humanoid-looking beings, that were behaving as if they were some large toads jumping off a cliff into a pool of water, one after the other. Though, judging from most of their bodies, they certainly seemed like they were humans, although none of their heads is anywhere close to being visible. Minnesota Tarzan. If you thought Tarzan was just part of one of your favorite childhood stories, well, then this trail cam seems to have brought that fantasy to an actual thing. A Minnesota construction worker on a break saw this huge Tarzan-like giant sitting idly by the lakeside. Its muscular build and huge size could dwarf any human, as it was extraordinarily big. But the supposed forest lurker didn't stay for long, as it disappeared in the dense woods. But the recorder was smart enough to capture the glimpse of it appearing. Closest sighting. Footage taken in Alberta, Canada, dating to August 2023, shows a very close look at a Sasquatch. The recorder, after hearing heavy footsteps, took shelter in the bushes and started recording. The huge hairy being standing at a towering height neared him and crossed him without even taking notice that there was someone hiding in the bushes. It was indeed a magnificent Sasquatch, and no costumed man. I mean, just look at that. It certainly looked very real. Either this guy was hiding so well, or it just happened to be his lucky day that the creature didn't notice him. But the guy put the Bigfoot existence controversy on hold. Bear inspecting. In a departure from the scary trail cam footage, a bear took center stage in the dark forest, displaying its curious and somewhat charming side. The bear's curiosity was piqued by the trail camera, prompting a closer look. It gazed into the lens, as if looking for something of interest. The bear thoroughly explored the placed device, sniffing and using its limbs to inspect it. Once eerie vibes of the forest had switched to playful ones, providing a welcome departure from the strange and magical themes generally connected with trail cam footage. Foggy mystery. Seeing a shadow being such as this with the naked human eye would certainly not be possible on a spooky night. The trail camera gave chills to the hunters while reviewing the recordings. There was a mysterious foggy creature slinking through the trees inches above from the ground. They were left scratching their heads upon seeing this shadowy being. To find the answers, they turned towards the internet wizards. Speculation surfaced, and most of the people called it a ghostly figure that was maybe a forest lurker or something else. What do you think it was? Humanoid lurker. How would you feel if your nighttime walk was interrupted by an unknown creature? Something similar to this happened when a man found himself in close vicinity of some excessively bizarre entities. Wait, let's see it again in slow motion. The slow play indicated that it was some otherworldly being. With its tall, faceless stature and its long arms flailing around, the creature was anything but normal. One of its pictures depicted that it was some skeleton-like bipedal creature. This nightmare-inducing critter disappeared after a short while, leaving people questioning its identity. Howling creature. Sighting of this extremely bizarre creature that was captured on camera could make anyone's blood run cold. The creature captured was a humanoid figure that seemed to be running towards the camera. And the notable thing was its screaming and making a very creepy sound.
Run! Run!
The tall, white figure seemed to have jumped out of a scary movie. The entity seemed to throw something at the camera and then quickly disappeared in the shadows. Speculation began. and many who saw it believed that it was an unknown entity. Clown in flashes. Let me now take you to a forest in Pennsylvania, where the trail cam captured something really strange. Not a Bigfoot, a goat man, or a ghost. This time, it was a clown, the kind of one that'll haunt you just as in the horror movies. The clown appeared abruptly towards the camera, as if it knew about the camera already, and was purposefully trying to give a scare, as if it were Pennywise from the It movies, except that it was in a forest instead of a gutter. Was this just a prank, or something else entirely? We can't say for certain. Mystery wild animal. In the eerie depths of the Midnight Forest Drive, a man stumbled upon an enigmatic creature, sparking bewilderment. The creature's lower half mirrored that of a wild boar, while its broad neck showcased black and white stripes, reminiscent of a zebra. Strangely, the creature clutched a similarly sized wild feline predator in its jaws. The observer sensed an ominous aura, deterring any inclination to challenge the beast. This bizarre encounter left the witnesses perplexed, as the familiar route had never unveiled such a mysterious hybrid or ghostly entity during previous journeys. Skinwalker. Imagine going on an exploration trip to the woods with your drone in tow and capturing the serene views, when things suddenly take an unexpected turn as a strange skinwalker appears out of nowhere. Something exactly like this happened when these adventurers were out and about in the forest when their drone captured something very creepy. A pale, human-like figure moved among the trees. Initially, they thought it was some distressed man, until he got closer and could sense something far more sinister. As they discovered, it was far more bizarre. Its presence was eerily similar to the renowned Skin Man, an extremely thin man who walks around in the woods. Was this the real Skinwalker, or just a hoax? The question remains unsettled. Dogman or werewolf? This trail camera captured something that could always imagine and be in fear of coming across in the darkness of the night. I mean, just take a look at this strange creature, with fluorescent eyes, a canine head, and a humanoid physique. This entity was terrifying. As the man zoomed in on the unknown being, it suddenly disappeared behind a wall and was then never sighted again. The clip gave rise to many questions and theories. Many believed that it was a dogman, and some assumed it to be a werewolf, but its identity was never confirmed. Stuck leopard. With the leopards having the tendency to sneak up, this one rather got snared in trying to do so. It wasn't until villagers in an undisclosed location somewhere in northwestern India noticed this leopard that was helplessly tied down and needed assistance. After reporting the issue to wildlife authorities, a group of wild animal handlers were called in to safely remove the leopard from the snare wire after tranquilizing the big cat and covering its eyes. Since the leopard was found too close to an inhabited area, it had to be relocated after cutting it free. In the process, they carefully had the leopard inserted into a cage to relocate. Elephant's rescue. This mother and baby duo became the victims of a muddy quicksand in the Zambia drought that was soon turning into a tomb.
February, the lake gets to its minimum and then begins to rise. But in February this year, the lake didn't rise. It just stabilized. And then instead of coming up, it actually kept going down.
Despite being stuck quite deep in the mud, the mother elephant was still more concerned about her baby. Park rangers, along with the help of volunteers, focused on getting the baby elephant out first. Using ropes tied to a series of vehicles, they managed to have the mother elephant pulled out of the muddy swamp. One of the rescuers injected both the animals with a nutrition injection to help them get adequate strength to be able to get up and go about their way. Defending territories. Apart from defending the territory, these elephants certainly wanted to maintain their privacy. In June 2021, park rangers in Lopburi, Thailand, encountered a protective wild elephant herd during their routine patrols in Sublanka Wildlife Sanctuary. As they traversed the forest, the family of elephants blocked their path, trumpeting loudly. The ranger's pickup truck continued on the trail, with adult elephants following closely, seemingly intent on deterring the officers. Young elephants attempted to approach, but another adult elephant swiftly nudged them back into the safety of the herd. This face-off highlighted the elephant's territorial defense in the national park, showcasing the challenges faced by those responsible for preserving the wildlife habitat. Well-mannered elephants. 2 elephants unknowingly entered an estate in Valparai, India, while grazing around the area in search of food. It looked like the poor duo was starving for a while, and they had gotten desperate for food. With the elephants unusually aggressive, forest officials stepped in to stop the elephants from getting any closer to the nearest inhabited area. They shouted at them and stomped their feet in order to scare the elephants away. Despite the desperation of the elephants, the giants surprisingly cooperated with the men assigned to dealing with the issue, which surprisingly worked. Forest creature. This family was on an adventure inside the forest when they felt a pair of eyes on them, as if someone had been tailing them. But the creature couldn't stay hidden for long, as one could spot it even from afar because of its peculiar appearance. It was when they zoomed in that they realized it was not any primate or a bear, but something out of the ordinary. Huge buildup, standing on 2 of its hind legs, and seemingly looked to be wearing a kind of a dark cape. The mystery being was standing between the trees with a constant stare pointed toward the family. Its true intentions were unknown, so they thought it better to just get away from there. Cryptid underground. One night while on patrol, this ranger heard some noises, a kind of noise that didn't resemble any animal. Scared but curious, he started filming. Upon nearing the underground creek, the voice grew louder, and that's when he saw 2 eyes staring right at him. It was a strange humanoid figure, but as it saw the man hovering over his hideout, it disappeared from sight and into the dark again. What it actually was, shrouded in mystery, left everyone wondering. Slender figure. Imagine driving on a highway in the middle of the night and witnessing this. I mean, it would kick the living daylights out of anyone. The same happened with this poor guy. As he was driving on a secluded highway covered in darkness, a strange, slender figure came out of nowhere and ran across the road. It was so near that the car could have hit it. Only it was a humanoid, foggy white being, just with the physique of a human. If you look closely, you will see the entity looked ghostly with no facial features prominent whatsoever. Or was it because of the headlights flashing at its face? Hairstyle buck. If hairstyle was a thing among the deer, this one certainly would be the best among them all. In 2013, a very strange buck was recorded by a trail camera, and it caught the attention of a worldwide audience. The animal had an odd wig on its head. Due to the dark color of the hair, a stark contrast to its fur, the buck looked very different as he wandered around with its fellows. Though, that buck kinda rocked the look, if you ask me. Bigfoot. A revelation unfolded when, during the daylight, a forest in Michigan unveiled this Bigfoot. Their colossal forms, cloaked in shadows, moved eerily alongside the trees. They were on a stroll around the forest when they noticed eyes following them. Upon looking around, they found the source at a far distance. It was a huge, dark creature standing tall among the trees. As they zoomed in the camera on this hairy being, it could be seen walking away, giving up on their staring contest. However, their minds boggled around the reality of this hairy being. Was it another Bigfoot sighting, or just one of the overly exaggerated hoaxes? Flying ghost or a hoax? If you believe that ghosts only exist in horror movies, then you have to watch this one. A shocking clip was captured from a backyard camera of a house. The clip featured a bizarre white cloth floating around on its own. It looked like the white ghost we all know from our childhood. The clip sparked debate on the internet, where many claimed it was some ghostly figure who wandered in the dark searching for something. It was later revealed that it was no ghost at all, but a drone draped with a white cloth and used as a Halloween decoration. Dancing deer. Now, we've all seen all kinds of creepy and unsettling creatures being captured on camera, but when the footage of a trail camera from Yellowstone National Park was submitted, well, viewers found themselves on the front row of a deer giving its dance debut. The hoofed animal danced his heart out as if no one was watching. I do gotta say, this deer had some serious moves. Experts were left baffled as to what caused this calm and composed animal wanting to set fire to the dance floor. Maybe it just wanted to get a day off from its cool guy persona. I know I do sometimes. Open discussion. It's time for today's open discussion. So, this picture dates back to November 2020, where farmers in northern Japan, after grappling with a rising menace of hungry bears infiltrating towns in search of food, led to property damage and some risky human encounters. They used these scare wolves to keep them at bay. Residents in Bihoro and Takikawa started resorting to a peculiar solution of a robotic monster wolf. These eerie devices, equipped with head movements, flashing lights, and howling sounds, serve as a deterrent, urging bears to seek sustenance elsewhere before hibernation sets in. The innovative approach aims to mitigate the escalating conflicts between bears and communities, offering a unique blend of technology and wildlife management in the face of a growing challenge. Bipedal werewolf. When it comes to this werewolf, it's not about being terrified of its appearance, rather the consequence of damaging its image as a supposedly intimidating figure. A door camera of a suburban home picked up what looks to be a wolf in a manly figure that appears from behind a Jeep all of a sudden. The audacity of this wolf was so intense that it sent a pedestrian running. Had this so-called werewolf decided to unofficially make a visit into any of the nearby homes, it certainly would have been the one running with its tail between its legs. Horrid figure. The only thing worse than a clown is one that's possessed. Hikers that were on a trail long after dark spotted this troubling figure that was surveilling them from a distance. Footage taken in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada, shows a dark, horrid figure standing among the bushes, which, upon getting noticed, immediately attempts to re-hide itself. According to hikers, this clown of a figure was trying to get closer to them before it was compromised, so it ended up giving up on its efforts immediately after. Despite searching for it, it was never found, leaving many to believe that this was actually a case of a ghost of a clown. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.